Hello, hello. Welcome to our channel. Okay, so I know we missed some comments. I'm not sure who's all in here just yet. I see Piggy, I see Full Blown, I see Aline, I see Joy, Treasure Hunter,
Pooch.
Welcome to our channel. Update on, well, as you know, we're in the progress of trying to move. It's proven to be a little difficult. Lots of paperwork, several different places. That and so far we have found places are either full or they're 1 to 2 months set back. So it'll be a little bit of a while, but we're working on it. There has been some progress made. I thought I had found a job, but they wanted me to change all of my son's therapies on Fridays. And most of his therapies fall on Fridays and Thursdays and Fridays, excuse me. And how do you pull them? So I had already rearranged them once for a job and found that does not work. So that and some of the things that this company did, I did not comprehend the way they did it. So it did not last long, and I don't feel like I have to rearrange my son's appointments just for a company. There are other places out there, so that is part of all the paperwork, filling out applications, making sure that I have a place to work. But yeah, I didn't find it fair that I had to rearrange his appointments just to be there for that company. I know the company is a busy place, but they do have good food. I'll give them that. But just for a job, no, I don't feel like that's accurate. They could have worked around me a little bit at least. So, but they wouldn't. So they decided that job was not for me. And today has been kind of crazy. Little man has been one cranky little man. I mean, cranky. Hello, Beth. Welcome to our channel. He is, and I think it's part of the teething process because he was, well, showing the signs like drooling. And I could see that one little tooth he was getting coming up a little bit. It's not fully up all the way, but you could start to see it peek through his gums. But he been cranky, even though he slept all night last night. And that's very rare for him. Most of the time he's up, I don't know how many times a night. And but he finally slept all night, so hopefully he'll sleep all night tonight because he's took 2 naps and then he went to bed on time. Well, actually a little bit early. And that was after taking a nap, good long nap around what, 3? He slept till about 5. So he had like a 2-hour nap, and he went to bed 30 minutes early. Yes, Pooch, happens to everybody, but you know, I think he might be growing a little bit too, and that's why he's wanting to sleep so much. But you know, at least the sleep will help with the teething process a little bit. That's proven to be difficult because he doesn't like very things. He would generally take his binky, but here lately he doesn't even want his binky at all. He's eaten very little last couple of days, not as much as he knew. And no, Beth, I have not. I have tried teething rings and I have tried frozen binkies. The frozen binkies work a little bit, but here, like I said, here lately, he does not want to take his binky. one of the places that we're having to do paperwork through had told me to try green onion. I just have not been able to get to the store to try the green onion. They said it has something in it that is like a numbing, kind of like the oral gel is supposed to do in a way. But here lately from some other mothers I know, they said that the oral gel causes the gums to be too hard and it's harder for the teeth to come up. So I'm trying to.
The green onion helps it numb it.
Yeah,
numb the gums.
Kind of like the Orajel does. So, but I try not to use Orajel, even though I got some. But I have not heard the one about the vanilla. I don't know if the vanilla I have is a real vanilla or not. I'll have to look, because I know there's different brands of vanilla extract. And some of them are just modified, basically. So I'll have to look into that. Yes, Philip Vaughn. I actually learned, my sister told me about that trick from her, that her sister-in-law used that on her son. That's my sister's sister-in-law, just in case y'all didn't understand what I was saying. Because it would be her husband's sister. And so she told my sister about it, because my sister gets to see her nephew, well, not my son, her other nephew, through her husband's side of that family. Was babysitting him for a while, and so they used frozen binkies on him. But for some reason, I can't find hardly any of his binkies. I had 10, 12 binkies, and I can barely find one or two. So I've got to hunt down all his binkies to find them. I know they're around the house somewhere. It's just finding them. No, actually, he does he will take our hands and he will stick it in his mouth. And generally, we'll let him chew on our fingers too, Pooch. So no, that doesn't sound gross to us. It just kind of hurts to know he's got that tooth coming through now, though. Mm-hmm. But, you know, gotta find a way to soothe the poor little man's gums, so. Yes, Treasure Hunter, that's why I said I'd have to look at the one I have, because of the fact that I'm not sure if it's imitation or not. I don't want to use it unless I know for a fact that it's real instead of the imitation. But he actually got to where he likes pickle now. I'll eat some of my homemade pickles. We've tried it before, and he would not eat.
He does not like store-bought pickles.
He spit them out, but when it comes to Mama's homemade pickles, he likes those. Okay, Beth, we'll try that if it's the real vanilla, but if it's the imitation, then I'll have to go get some to see if that works. Hey, Boots and Brownie. Welcome. Mr. Boots and Brownie. Yes, correction. Welcome. But yeah, so we're going through that process on top of trying to get all this paperwork done. And when I got a mountain of paperwork, it seems like get done, and I got a cranky kid because he's teething and he's fighting sleep, does not help. And Daddy can only do so much to keep him calm, and but
keep him calm and laughing.
Yes, Daddy tries, but sometimes he just wants his mama. And he did finally start saying mama and daddy. First he said daddy, but he says mama pretty much when he's mad. When he's upset, he says mama. But when he giggles and just does his little chatter, he'll go da 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 da, you know, which is kind of cute. But you know, Mama would like to hear that from him when he's happy too, not just when he's upset. But so that's, you know, we're still looking. We're not giving up as far as the moving goes, it's just going to be a little while because we have to wait for some application processes to go through. Of course, they do a background check. So, you know, but that's typical. Most companies do a background check. But you know, I ain't scared of it because you know they ain't gonna find nothing on us. Of course, you know they only gonna find something on you if you done something wrong. So, but that's you know that's the when you have reason to be scared is when you done something wrong for a background check. But I ain't too worried about that. And then of course, giving them the proper documents for excuse me, their side of the
Their side.
Their side. Sorry, I was reading Mr. Boots' and Benny's comment. Okay, Boots, just come back if you feel like it. You're welcome to come back, and thanks for visiting us for a little bit. We glad to see you pop in.
They're kind of.
Yeah, we'll be on for a while. I know the last live we did, we went till what 10, 11 o'clock.
2 hours.
So yeah, we did a long one, not intentionally, just kind of happened because we got to goofing off and enjoying ourselves, which you know it happens, no biggie. Oh, okay, we'll go eat. You know, I tried to make dinner before our live so that when I went live that we didn't have to worry about whether or not we're going to eat too late or not. Yeah. But so yeah, tonight's it was pork chops and broccoli cheddar rice. So that the first time I had the broccoli cheddar rice, it didn't turn out too good because the rice didn't turn out right. So I had to keep a better eye on the rice.
No, it was Pooch. It was late, and we just.
It was literally just a piece of chicken.
Yeah, it was late, and I had to figure out to find something to snack on, and I went to bed.
So I cooked a piece of chicken for us both, and that was our dinner.
Yeah.
So I played it safe tonight and made sure that we had food before our life. That way, if we did happen to go a long while, that it wasn't going to cut into our meal time. Little man, like I said, he went to bed early, so you probably won't be seeing him tonight unless he wakes up cranky. But we're the. Yeah, well, I don't think we have any ramen noodles in the house, to be honest.
Oh, I can eat those. I can actually make a meal that I can eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Oh yeah, there's times that if I don't watch him when I buy a case of them, he just eats the whole case, half the case in one day. So, but it was a quick dinner. We ate that. I cleaned up and we went to bed because we were tired and we had. I believe we had a doctor appointment the next day.
The next day, a doctor's appointment.
Yeah, we had a doctor's appointment, which we got one tomorrow too. We go every week to Telequal. We've been in Telequal more often this week just because of the fact that we've had all the paperwork and other things to take care of. So we'll find something eventually. It's just taking some legwork. Of course, when COVID hits and everybody loses their jobs, then everybody flocks to places that help. So that's why it's so difficult to find a place. We did look at one place, but we found it wasn't for us. I'm not going to go to details on that. Yeah, it just wasn't for us. So we turned that one down, but we have our reasons on that one. Yes, Treasure Hunter, I did. I sure did. I've never heard of anybody trying that one, Joy. Yeah, I've never tried to cook ramen noodles in a coffee pot. See. Well, my anxiety and stress has been high lately, Pooch, so you're not the only one. Even like right now, I am not feeling my best. Today has not been a very good day today. I made breakfast for us. The potatoes turned out, but my gravy did not. It was too sweet because the condensed milk I used in it was sweetened condensed milk, which is for baking. I didn't realize that. So that didn't turn out. And then my pork chops looked a little wonky tonight, so but they were edible. Of course, when something doesn't turn out and we don't like it, we just tend to give it to the dogs. At least poor Dan, he's lost his teeth, so it's easier for him to eat things like that. So we just give it to them. Mostly Dan, because he's an older dog and he's losing his teeth, so he needs softer food. And you know, I do make sure that it's safe for dogs before I feed it for them, because I used to make my own dog food, homemade dog food, but I found that can be expensive at times depending on how you get your ingredients. Enjoy, that's always a plus. When your kids cook for you, that's always a plus. Yes, Eileen, you're right. You're right. Trial and error.
Oh, and always sticking your finger in the pot.
Yeah.
And tasting it.
Always kind of taste it as you go, just to make sure it's cooked right. Kind of like I had to do to the rice tonight to make sure that the rice was cooked. Because last time I made the broccoli cheddar rice, the rice was too crunchy. And so I was like, okay, I got to keep a better eye on the rice. But last time I tried to cook the rice over an open fire in my Dutch oven, which, you know, if the rice would have been cooked a little bit longer, it would have been fine. It didn't taste bad. It just, the fact that it was too crunchy. We don't tend to not like crunchy rice, so I paid a little more attention tonight, and it didn't turn out too bad. Just, I think it needed a little salt or something. Just a little tweaking, you know, figuring out what it's missing. Full blown, you know what? I'm bad about sneaking a bite to my dogs from time to time, or I'll give them my leftovers on my plate. I just make sure that there's things like onion and garlic that's not in the food, because onion and garlic is not good for dogs at all. But if, you know, green beans, meats, things like that, I'll give to them. But I make sure that it doesn't have anything in it that won't hurt them. If it's got stuff like that in it, we toss it. That way okay, Eileen, that's fine. We understand. But because we don't want it to harm our dogs. And honestly, if you feed them too much food, or things like hot dogs, I found that my mother does, they can get my grandmother did, rephrase that, because my grandmother's no longer living. So, but she used to feed her Chiweenie hot dogs every day, multiple times a day. Every time she opened a fridge, that dog got a hot dog. And the dog eventually got pancreatitis, which is not good. It is curable, but it is hard on the dog. And you have to make sure that you catch it soon enough to get them to the vet to get them the antibiotics they need. So that's why I tend to steer clear of certain things feeding my dog. People I know think it's wise tale, but when I have seen dogs get pancreatitis, And I have, I've made sure I did yes, a Chiweenie is a Chihuahua
And
a Dachshund mix.
Yeah.
So yes, in a way, it is a wiener dog. And that dog was a nightmare. I know 2 different dogs in my family that were nightmares. One of them was my grandmother's dog. Because when my grandmother got sick, I was the one taking care of her, and I had to regulate her medicine stuff. And that dog would growl at me and try and bite me every time I would help my grandmother sit up or give her medicine, and she'd poop and pee in my shoes. And so, yeah, a nightmare. I mean, it's just little things like that. But when my grandmother had to go in the hospital, all that dog wanted was me. Yes, full blown, it will. That's why we don't give them too much ham. We very, 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 very rarely give them ham. A little of it doesn't do too much harm, but constantly, yes, it does. Because when I was making my own dog food, I did research on what dogs can and cannot eat. And there are a few items that, they can have a little bit of, and there's items that doesn't bother them, like green beans and peas, carrots. They can have as much as they want. Yes, Piggy, sometimes they can be. Izzy's that way. I know when we first got her,
she'd chew anything
and everything. She could get her little mouth on. And she's kind of back in that mode. We're going to have to get her, trying to get her out, but I think it's just separation anxiety because we have not been home much lately. She does not want to go outside unless we're home. So she literally waits till we get home to go outside. She'll go outside when we get up in the morning, and then she'll go outside when we get home. But in between, she does not go. And we're trying to get her kind of out of that because she doesn't need to go to the bathroom, so she doesn't go in the house. But I haven't found any messes in the house that are hers yet. So, yes, chicken or rice are a good form of full blown. So that's one of the other ingredients I've used for them too. But things like banana and stuff, they can have a little bit of. It is good for them in a way, but too much is bad. It's like too much of a good thing in a way. My boxer mix loved carrots. Anytime I'd open a bag of carrots, she would, or if I got in the fridge, she wanted to know if I got carrots. So she would follow me to the fridge, and if I got carrots out, she wanted the carrots. That dog loved carrots. And I always had to give her some. I always had to share my carrots with her because of it. But unfortunately, due to her age and other health factors, we did lose her. So she's no longer with us. And I'm sorry, folks, but if you'll excuse me, and I'll have to let Teddy talk for a while, I have to use the ladies' room.
I don't know what to say on here.
Just talk to them, read their comments, find out. I'm sorry, folks. One of the nature calls.
and too, yeah, it's her dog got lost. Well, she lost hers right after I lost mine. Oh, and two though, Pooch, you gotta with your dog, you gotta be real careful and don't give them onions and garlic. It's real bad. Something to do with they're real bad for your dogs if you give them garlic and onions. Yeah. Yeah, she had to go. She had to go. When you gotta go, you gotta go. Yeah, Pooch. If you ever seen the movie where the red fern grows, I had that. I lost my hound dog. if you ever watched Redfern grow, it was a little lamb that I lost. And a few years, it was I think last year or the beginning of this year, I about lost old Dan, and from a depression and stuff like that. Mostly a depression and a broken heart because his sister has passed. And, until we got this new dog we adopted from the shelter, and he perked right up. And but yeah, if you ever seen the Redfern Grows movie, it hurts. Even though I still can't even watch it. Even still this day, I can't watch it. The movie, and we yeah, we it still hurts to this day. Really a treasure hunter. I got two American black and I had two American black and tan coonhounds. I lost one of them, and both of them were named Little Ann and Old Dan. I don't blame you, Pooch. I don't blame you at all. The two that my wife has two now, and I got two left now. And one of them's at the verge when you don't know if he's gonna make it or not. That's how old he is. But I don't. If I ever get a dog, some dogs, it'd be for the boy. Yeah, yeah. A treasure hunter. When they made the new version of the Redfern Festival, one of my teachers when I was back in high school, her boyfriend at the time was in that movie, the newer version one. And but the one my black and tan is 12 years, and my little Chihuahua is 10 years old, I believe. I ain't 100% sure.
Still.
We was talking about dogs in the movie.
Oh yeah, Return. Okay.
But well, the boss lady's back now. She can take the show.
Sorry, folks. Just one of them nights when food don't agree. That's cool, Joy. I don't know. You probably didn't catch it, but we had chickens for a little bit, and guineas, and then I explained what happened to them in one of our other lives. But good luck, and make sure you have them well protected, because thanks, Beth. I'm not sure, you're probably referring to that one to Teddy. But you know, what was I gonna say? Sometimes I lose track of what I was gonna say.
About the chickens.
Oh yes, we'd explain what happened to them. We have raised chickens before. Then we moved, and so I wound up giving about half the chickens to my sister because they were the younger ones, and they did not get along with the older ones, and we had left the older ones with my father-in-law. And well, you know, things happen. And
we lost the chickens and the guineas to some predators.
Yeah. Um, Piggy and Pooch, I thought that when I lost my boxer mix. I thought I didn't want another one for a while. And then I happened to come across little Miss Izzy, and I just, when I seen her picture, I fell in love with her. And I had to beg my husband to let me get her. But because I thought that too. Um, and but she might be a pain sometimes, but we love her. She's turning out to be a good dog. Um, so you might surprise yourselves, and you guys may wind up with another one, even though you say you don't. Because, like I said, I thought the same thing. Well, in a way, no, because I felt like when I first got Izzy, I was afraid I was, in a way, not remembering my girl. 'Cause she was my baby. I loved her to death. I loved her to death, but just she had health issues. She was old. And it happens to dogs, and I thought if I got another dog, I would be, how do I put this? What is the word I'm looking for? I felt like I was
depressed.
No, it has to do with the memory of her. Disregarding, I guess, in a way, her memory. But then I kind of realized I wasn't. Maybe that was, in a way, the Lord's way of using her to help me find it. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional because I do miss her still. I can't really look at a picture without crying. She's been one. Lolo, which was my boxer mix. She was one of the best dogs I ever had. She was very good. She heard the slightest noise, she would wake up and let me know. Especially if it wasn't one that she was used to. She thought she heard something crawling in the yard. She was up and she was ready to go see what it was. She was wanting to investigate. Yes, full of blown up, and I did that too. My sister had to help because near the end of her life, she was too old, and I was afraid another move would kill her. So I left her with my sister. And then, I keep in touch with my sister about how she's doing. I would visit when I could. And then I got a call one day from my sister telling me that she had gone extremely downhill. She didn't want to eat. All she wanted to do was sleep. So I wound up having to put her down because it was best for her. I couldn't let her live in that state. I didn't feel it was fair to her that to make her live that way. So I had to make. Yes, Piggy, they are. They are. They are special in their own ways. And yes, we will. Yes, they're all special, and they have their own personalities, but I don't not love Izzy either. I love Izzy maybe in just a slightly different way because each one of them touch our heart differently. And I had, oh, you girls, settle down. They're over there playing, right behind us. Uh, yes, we had a German Shepherd when I was growing up. That dog did not like anybody. I mean, anybody coming in the yard unless they had permission from us. And she had to realize, that they had permission from us. And she lived a good long while. She wound up with hip dysplasia, and my dad wanted to hold her when they put her to sleep. But unfortunately, due to certain circumstances, once I was already sitting back there loving on her and just, basically saying goodbye, I had to be the one to hold her. And she died in my arms instead of my dad's. And, I feel bad for my dad on that part because he wanted to be the one to do it. But in order to keep her from, because she had some fight in her, she didn't want them to put her down. But we just couldn't afford surgery, and we couldn't afford a cart at the time because carts had just come out for dogs, and so they were super expensive. And so we had to make the choice to put her down because we were using a towel in order to pick up her back in so that we could take her outside to go outside. Because she would drag her whole back end because her hip dysplasia was so bad. So yeah, that part is tough, having to let them die in your arms. But and Lola did too. She died in my arms too when we put her down. But I chose to do it because I felt it was better for her than living in misery and just sleeping her life away. Because like I said, she's old, she had health problems. She had a tumor on her spleen, and we barely made it through on that one. And she, they said it was a miracle that she even made it through the surgery because of her age. Most dogs her age didn't make it through the surgery, and they said if she did, she'd only live about 2 more years. And that's exactly what happened. She lived about 2 more years, and then we wanted, because her health declined so bad, we had to put her down. Yes, do have to look, unfortunately, one of these days we'll have to do it with the others too. But we'll cross that bridge when it comes. Until then, we're gonna love them no matter what. And I'm sorry, I can feel nature calling again.
And two, I lost my hound dog 3 years ago from she had a few years before she passed. She had a cancer, and I about lost her for over cancer. Luckily, I didn't. And after her cancer, about 3 years ago, or before 3 years ago, or after 3 years ago, she started having seizures. And about 3 years ago, that morning, we went up that morning to feed on, to water them, and check on them and stuff. And then we went back out since it was hot outside. It was during the summer, and I guess she had another seizure in the summer heat, and the heat what made her pass. And I bawled like a little kid again, because that was my first ever hound dog I ever got. And then about, I think last year, end of last year after the boy was born. After the boy was born, or it might have been end of last year or the beginning of this year. I thought I about lost my male hound dog, old Dan, uh, for old age probably. It's just he didn't know what it was. And then after a while, once we brought the boy out, he started perking up again, and he is fighting, trying to fight depression and heartbroken because his sister passed. And then we adopted our new dog, and it perked him right back up again. But now he's going downhill. His health is finally catching up to him now, but I'm gonna be missing him. And, he was my only hunting dog.
We found out that was constipation when we thought we lost him.
Yeah.
I don't know. They can't probably hear me.
Well, here's the boss lady again.
Sorry, folks. Just one of them times.
And two, I had my grandma before she passed. She had a red healer that she let me have that I grew up with as a kid. And after she passed, she let me have her red healer, and she had a kidney stone. No, not kidney stone, kidney failures. And she passed right in here in the living room. It was during the winter. And she passed here during the winter in front of the fireplace, trying to get warm for kidney failures.
Well, yeah, that and I don't know. I told Teddy, I don't know if y'all heard me because I was too far away from the mic. But when we thought we lost Dan earlier this year, turned out to be constipation, and of course, give him some pumpkin and that cures that pretty much. But that's the only thing I could get him to eat because he wasn't eating that day, and so I gave him a little bit of pumpkin to try and get him to eat something. So that played a factor into it too. But he didn't actually get up like he said until we actually brung our son out to him, and then he decided to get up because he wasn't really responding until I had started talking to him. But when I started talking to him, he lifted his head up, but that's about all he would do. And so, but like I said, we got him back on track for a while, but now he just wants to sleep most of the time. He's barely eating now, but being as old as he is, it's about his time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Beth, losing a pet is difficult. Yes, and you're right. There are so many more than you love, and that's where Izzy came into play for me with Lola. She's one of those ones that the previous owner of her called her her and her siblings a oopsie litter because she had planned on bringing their mom with a different dog, and a stray had wound up in her yard and in her pen with their mother. So, but you know, when females and a male will do anything they can to get to them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you know, and as a result, I got Izzy. So it might have been an oopsie litter for her, but it gave me a fur baby.
And then you adopted one too.
Yes, and then
basically our boy is the one that picked this one out.
Yeah, because I had seen him, and I thought, okay, he's a potential one. He's got some potential, and then we went to go see him, if we thought we'd like him. And when our boy lit up and was just giggling and laughing and just kind of reaching and stuff, we knew.
Mm-hmm.
We knew that he.
And the dog that we adopted loved our boy too. He loved him a lot too. That new dog we got.
Yeah, and he had never been around a baby before, never. And his previous owner had him for a short time and had to give him up because she had moved, and the place she moved had dogs, and those dogs that were there did not like other dogs. So she wound up giving them up, and we, like I said, I seen a post from a shelter and someone who helps out with them, and that's when I was like, okay, we'll check them out and see what happens. And sure enough, we brought him home.
Mm-hmm.
So he's Dan's companion. Dan actually lets him walk all over him and
jump on him
and everything else. I kind of feel bad for Dan. Of course, old girl kind of likes to torment them, eat their food. She actually nipped at Blue the other day to get to his food, because Blue's nipped at her to say, hey, that's my food. And old girl nipped back. And so we had to put a boundary for her to keep her away from the dog food. Because, when she starts getting cranky back, because she's not supposed to eat dog food. It's not no nutrition value for a horse. That's when it's time to put up a boundary. And then kind of just can't keep her out of it no matter where we put it. Izzy, that's enough. She's barking.
No, I gotta use the restroom.
I guess we're taking turns. But yeah, so it's been quite a day. The girls are kind of rowdy right now, so we might have to, if they don't stop, we might have to put them outside. Girls, Izzy, Sissy, enough. But they're getting a little too rowdy, and if they're not careful, they'll wake up the baby. Come here, Izzy. Come on, Isabel. There you go.
Tell Teddy to let them all outside.
All right. If you'll, yeah. That's, are you talking about your dog or a horse? Okay, are you talking about one of your horses full blown, or are you talking about the dog? I'm kind of unclear on that one. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I just don't know which one it is. Okay, yeah, our dogs tend to think that every time they go outside, when they come inside, they get a treat. And baby dog thinks that anytime somebody else goes outside and then comes in, he gets a treat. He tries to
my little chihuahua knows how to work the system.
Yes. he likes to think that he can get a treat just about any time. Which is not the case. But he tries. And hey, as long as they're happy and it's actually edible for them, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Because a dog's not like a horse. It's not like you can overfeed them. A horse you can actually overfeed. Oh, okay, Arlen, I understand you. Understand. I'm having a bit myself.
I hope you get better there.
Yes, do get to feeling better, and we appreciate you popping in.
No, the dog.
Was it Blue this time, or is it? You never know what he's barking at. Sometimes it's something, and sometimes it's nothing. Here lately, he's got to where he likes to tangle himself. Because he's not trained to stay in the yard yet. We do have him on a chain until we can get him trained to stay in the yard. We're just having a bit of trouble with it. And he'll get himself tangled up, and we have to go out there constantly to get him untangled. hey, that, that's one way for him to tell you. I don't know that our dogs would do that, but that's a nifty idea. Ours just kind of either sit at the door or they'll stare at you. And sometimes they'll bark, depending on which one it is. Teddy went to go see what Blue was barking at, so he'll be back as soon as he can. But he's kind of crazy sometimes. Blue is. He
their business.
Barks at, but he's still young. He's still learning. And we're hoping this place will at least let us have the dogs.
My dog poop. I dumped the dirty dog poop.
But as I was saying, oh, I hate that, Piggy. I was constantly doing that with my grandmother's dog. But my grandmother's dog did it in my shoes. And so anytime I went to put my shoes on, I was either stepping in a puddle or their mess. In full blown, my mother had a Chihuahua that would drag. My dad had a dog door at his house. My parents had a dog door at their house, and my mom's Chihuahua would always bring in a dead mole or something because my dog would dig them up and kill it. And later on, and we wouldn't, because she didn't like moles in the yard, so she'd always dig them up and kill them. But when it came to my mom's Chihuahua, the Chihuahua would bring it in, so we had to be careful with the dog door. So yes, if you have a dog door, that sometimes they will bring in dead animals. So you gotta watch that. And this Chihuahua had hardly any teeth because he was old too. And another thing he would do is in the garden, he would go out and steal the peppers, like jalapeno peppers, bell peppers, any kind of pepper he could get his mouth on. He would steal a pepper. He'd pull it right off the plant itself. And I have not known any other dog to like peppers that way, but this Chihuahua did. I actually have a video of him somewhere with I think it's a bell pepper in his mouth. I'll have to see if I can't find that video. I don't know if it's on the computer or if it's on one of the cards. I'll have to look. So it's kind of some research when things calm down to do, because I know I have more videos that we recorded. I just don't know if they're on the phone or if we already put them on video or what, because some of them we moved over and some of them we didn't, so it's just going to be a hunt. Oh wow, Piggy. I don't know how I'd feel about a cat bringing a fish in my bed. But I did have a cat that he had his way of letting us know he went outside at night when we were asleep. Each one had a different way. Like my sister, he would walk across her piano. My parents, he'd run his paws down the blind. Me, he would lay directly on my face where I can't breathe. So, but like if he wanted to sleep though, he'd sleep on my chest, which is fine. I didn't mind doing that. It's just when he lay on my face and I can't breathe, that's when I had the problem. But yeah, he had his way of letting us know he wanted outside. He was kind of a neighborhood cat in a way, because we found out because there was periods of time when he wouldn't come home for a few days, and then one day we seen him go in somebody else's house. We're like, oh, okay. but he had been with us for years.
No, he's not the Taco Bell Chihuahua. I found out this a few years ago about baby dog.
Yeah,
he's a what they call a deer-legged Chihuahua. He's a long-legged Chihuahua.
Unless you're talking about my mother's Chihuahua, he was a long-haired Chihuahua. So about the size of the Taco Bell Chihuahua, just not the actual one itself. He was a long-haired. My mom's was, and then the one my husband have, he's a deer-legged. Yes, full blown. You know that's exactly right. That's why we get on to ours. Some of them learn faster than others, though. Like my boxer mix, I think she missed in the house one time, and I got onto her, and she had not missed in the house since. Now, Izzy, it took a good while for us to get it through to her that she cannot mess in the house. Oh, yes, Beth. Then you're talking about my mother's. He was a long-haired Chihuahua. But I guess in a sense, yeah, because he liked the peppers, he kind of was the Taco Bell dog.
It'd be like the commercial, here, lizard, lizard, lizard.
Or you get a Taco Bell. But yeah, that was my mother's Chihuahua, not my husband's. My husband's is the color of him, but it's too big. Poor thing, only has one eye. But each animal's unique, no matter what their circumstances. 3 legs, because we thought Izzy was gonna wind up with 3 legs, because she got hit by a car.
About 70.
Yeah, on a country road where there are constantly cows out or horse out, mostly cows. Some out-of-towner decided they're going to speed down our road, and Izzy happened to decide she was going to go on that road that day, which she knows better, and I had got on to her multiple times, but she decided that she was going to try to push our buttons, I guess, but we weren't home at the time when we found out. We had to go get some bedding for the dog house for Dan, because we didn't have Blue at the time, so we had to go get bedding for Dan. And we got the call saying she got hit by a car, so we didn't even get the bedding. We turned around and came home and had to go to the emergency center instead. And they said that the wait after we took her to our normal vet, because the emergency clinic didn't even do a scan really on her elbow. They did one of her lungs and stomach.
She had what do they call it?
Contusions.
Contusions in her lungs.
Yeah, she had contusions in her lungs, and I guess they were so worried about that they didn't even think to. But I knew something was wrong with her leg by the way she walked. I just didn't know if it was in the shoulder or where it was at. I knew it leg pretty much. It just, like I said, I just didn't know what was wrong exactly with it. And when I took her to our normal vet, that's when they had asked me if they had taken a scan of her elbow, and I was like, no. And they did, and they found out the way it was broken was like right in this area here, but the way it was broke was one of those really, really, really hard places to heal. They said the majority of the time they do not heal, and you have to either do surgery
or
amputation. So I chose to try to let it heal and see if we had to do the amputation. It did take a good while, but she is finally out of the cast, and she's getting more motion in it. She does have a bit of a limp, but they said that she probably won't walk the same as she did because of it. But it healed. She still has her leg. So I'm not worried about a little bit of a limp, but we would have dealt with the 3-legged dog if we had to. I wouldn't have loved her any less just because she had 3 legs instead of 4. And that's just the way I feel about it. But
There's been up.
yes, full blown. We do let ours out quite frequently as well. We let them out in the mornings when we get up. Then we'll, depending if we're home, it might be us or my father-in-law who let them out 2 or 3 times throughout the day. And then we let them out before we go to bed. And then when we go to bed, we let them out one last time. So ours is kind of on a schedule too. And sometimes we just have to let them out to get some of their rowdiness out. Just like the girls, they were kind of getting a little rowdy earlier. I tend to not like that when it's near bedtime or the boy is asleep, because he does need his sleep. He's a grown kid. So, but yeah, we understand that, but we're gonna have to let y'all go, folks. My stomach is bothering me, and I could see Teddy getting tired over here. So even though I was the one that went to bed last night early,
Uh-huh.
so I think it's probably his turn now. I guess we take in turns, but we'll let you folks go. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you next time. And we'll keep you updated.
Good night, folks.
Night.